every year in sports we witness greatness, for lack of a better term. Uh, Whether it be in basketball, football, baseball, whatever it is, we see performances across the season that don't seem sustainable, but somehow they happen. And you look back and you're like, wow, that is just like a truly incredible season from a numbers point, you know? Like it it shouldn't be possible what these guys are doing, but they do it. It's a 9% touchdown rate, you know? It's like Lamar 2020. It's Peyton Manning 2013. It's Cam Newton 20, it's these guys that are supremely talented. From day one they've been talented, but for some reason they put it together, and they go above their already high class talent, right? You notice the three guys I just named, two of them were one picks, and then the other one was a first round pick. I mean, I'm just like spitballing of the great seasons in football that I've seen, but they all pale in comparison to, in what my opinion is, the most impressive single season, all things considered, in modern sports history, and that is 2011 Victor Cruz. Okay, so let me get into the notes here and tell you why I think this is the most impressive season of anybody in the history of anything. Right. So first of all, this is 99 Neighbors. You should listen to them. But Victor Cruz. Okay, so Victor Cruz was undrafted from the University of Massachusetts. Okay, so whenever as a dynasty guy, whenever you see someone that's undrafted, they're off your board almost instantly because they don't work out. You get a couple every other year. You know, like maybe in a decade there's like one or two like UDFA's that sustain value, and that's out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds every year that come in. I mean, J. Rob is the most recent example, but you know what I'm saying? You get it. It's very 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 hard to be good as a UDFA, and and in the NFL you're more likely to do it as a running back since they really don't matter, and so if if you're getting less opportunity, or no, like if you can, if you're given opportunity as a running back, you're gonna be good. So the skill level, you know, it's a more flat curve than for like receivers, and so the list of undrafted free agent receivers ever to be like good is pretty small, and I narrowed so I went through a list, and like the list consists of guys like Wes Welker, Rod Smith, Victor Cruz, Adam Thielen, and Miles Austin. Like those are the top five guys, and they're all good, but like they're not. There's nothing great about these guys usually, you know, because it's really 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 hard to be good in the NFL, especially at receiver, something that has a higher skill curve, I guess. Um, but I went through those names that I just talked about, and I looked at all their best seasons, and the three best seasons by an undrafted free agent. Um, they belong to Wes Welker in 2011, Rod Smith in 2001, and Victor Cruz in 2011. Okay, so here, one second. Let me here. I'm gonna go through it first. So in 2011, Victor Cruz, no, Wes Welker rather, he had 122 catches for 1,500 yards and 9 touchdowns. Okay, Rod Smith, he had 100 catches for 1,600 yards and 8 touchdowns. Okay, and Victor Cruz in 2011 had 82 catches for 1,500 yards and 9 touchdowns. So three elite seasons with lots of productivity. Okay, but here, one second. Let's go over here really quickly. Wes Welker, Wes Welker, Wes Welker, Wes Welker. Let's look at his stats here. Okay, he had his magnum opus season as a UDFA in 2011 at the age of 30 in his 8th season in the NFL. So this dude is in his prime. He's experienced. He's built chemistry with the quarterback. He comes in and puts up a great year. You cannot discount that, but he was in his prime. He was on a great team with a great quarterback. You get the point, right? Tom Brady's throwing the ball. It's a whole thing, okay? Now, Rod Smith. Let's go to his stats here. Sorry, I don't have this pulled up. This is not very professional. Rod Smith. Oopsie. Rod Smith. Rod Smith has his season of excellence And once again, at the age of 30, in his 6th year in the NFL, okay? And once again, you cannot discount that, but Rod Smith is indeed the shit here, okay? But let's go to Victor Cruz, okay? Let's go to Victor Cruz's stats. So Victor Cruz this year, like I was saying, he had this many. I mean, you can see it, right? But Victor Cruz does this in his first season playing football. As you can see, he was picked up by the Giants as a UDFA in 2010. He appeared in 3 games, but was likely not targeted, caught no passes. He didn't record any stats in his first year in the league as a 24-year-old. As a 25-year-old, okay, he's thrust into the starting lineup because someone broke their foot. He was the 4th receiver going into this, okay? Then he's listed as the 3rd receiver as a 25-year-old Ben Simmons rookie. You get it, his first year in the league, and does this, okay? Very impressive, but there's levels to this, okay? This, like, that is impressive in and of itself, but let me go deeper, right? Let's look at this team. Oopsie, actually back here. Let's look at this team that he was on. This team had some serious talent. Some serious talent. They really did. If I can find the receivers. Oh my goodness, where's it at? So, likely from fantasy, you remember Ahmad Bradshaw, a very good running back, right? But on this team as well, Hakeem Nicks played, and Mario Manningham, both of whom I remember being productive in fantasy for multiple years at a time. And Ahmad Bradshaw was getting carries. Like, this was not his offense. He was not the guy because he was a rookie. It was his first year. He has a UDFA. He has no capital to his name, right? He actually was second on the team in targets and was able to do this, right? So that's pretty impressive. But let's go back one step and show you why this season is the best out of any UDFA receiver ever. And it's not even close, okay? So once again, Victor Cruz has this stat line, right? Let's go back to Rod Smith here. Rod Smith had his 100-catch season for that stat line on 173 targets, okay? That is a massive amount. He had 173 targets, okay? Now let's go back to Wes Welker and see his season. Wes Welker, as a 30-year-old player with Tom Brady throwing him the ball, he put up this stat line on, once again, 173 targets. Victor Cruz had essentially the same stat line as the other 2 guys, with Eli Manning throwing him the ball instead of Tom Brady, on 131 targets. He was out-targeted by both Rod Smith and Wes Welker by 41 targets. If he miraculously gets these extra 41 targets, he's he's pushing 2,000 yards and probably 12 scores just off the rate, but we can't do that because that's not how it works. But the efficiency is mind-boggling. He puts up 1,500 yards in his first year playing as a UDFA on nearly 19 yards per catch on a team with 2 legit NFL talents, two rising talents, one of whom was a first-round pick. And I believe his first year, right? No. In his 3rd year, okay, as a first-round pick, the Giants have allegiance to Hakeem Nicks because he was the first-round pick, right? In his 3rd year, which is when you're supposed to break out, right? He out-targets Victor Cruz, but is drastically outproduced, and it wasn't even close. And Hakeem Nicks is no slouch whatsoever. Now, let me get my notes again because I lost them, right? And get this. Sorry, this is that was supposed to be like grand, but you'll see here. Mario Manningham plays 12 games. He's solid. Jake Ballard has a solid share as well. But Victor Cruz, he starts just 7 games this year. Like I was saying, he was the 3rd receiver on this team after an injury occurred. He had an injury to get to this point, and he started in just 7 games this year. He put up this stat line on this efficiency, one of the all-time seasons ever for anybody. One of the all-time seasons ever by starting 7 games. And he was a 25-year-old first-time NFL player, rookie essentially, with Eli Manning throwing him the ball. instead of, I believe, John Elway. No, maybe. I who was on that? Who was on that team? Who was on that team? Was did John? Anyways, you get the point. He was doing this with competition, a bad quarterback, everything, everything working against him. He started 7 games, and he put up the stat line. I cannot think of something more incredible than that. It's absolutely absurd. Like, it's just so improbable. I don't get it. But wait, there's more. Obviously, let me pull up my notes again. The Hall of Famer, yes, the Hall of Famer, Odell Beckham Jr. His best season with the Giants with the same quarterback was 96 catches for 14, 15, and 13. So, OBJ's best season, he got 25 more targets and less yardage and more touchdowns. Like, it's essentially a wash, but way less efficient. And OBJ is a Hall of Famer, and he had the same quarterback, the same QB throwing him the ball. Like, I don't know how you can get more impressive than that. It was in the face of competition in Hakeem Nicks, Mario Manningham, first round competition. He got less targets than Hakeem Nicks. He does this while starting 7 games as essentially a rookie. Like, it's so incredible. Like, this is to me, all things considered, the most impressive season of anybody in modern sports. Like, you do not get UDFAs to be successful in the NFL, and you sure don't get them when an injury happens and then they play like this. Like, he started 7 games as essentially a rookie with no draft capital, second on the team in targets. He beats out a first round pick and a third round pick that were also really 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 good players that they went on and showed that they were good, and he does this on this many targets. Like, it's incredible. It's so incredible. It's so incredible. And the story of Victor Cruz isn't always a great one because he ends up to, like, you'll see. I mean, I'm sure you know the story, but he does this, which is incredible, and then he has another good year, and then he kind of does this. He kind of tears his patella, which would go on to cause calf strains, calf tears after he was able to recover, and it kind of ended his career at the age of 27, I believe, 26, just like entering his prime. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he had arguably the most impressive season of anyone ever, all things considered. I don't know what else can top this just from like a story standpoint. He starts 7 games. He's playing because of an injury. He's more efficient than anybody ever as a UDFA while putting up the same counting stats essentially. And he's a rookie. Like, it's so incredible. I don't understand how it happened, but it did, and I'm very grateful because it was one hell of a thing to dig into, I guess. That's really all, I guess. Just, this is just so unfortunate because he was a supreme talent. Like, just incredible. Just like oh my God, he was so good. He was so good in his prime, but obviously injuries got the best of him. And as a 27-year-old, 28 maybe, I don't know, but he was hurt. But I mean, looking back, 3 essentially 1,000-yard seasons, one of them being the most impressive season ever. That's a pretty good career for a UDFA, and I'm happy I saw it. But yeah, that's about it. I don't know how to end this because it was a more serious video. Like, this is just so freaking impressive. But yeah, don't forget how good Victor Cruz is because his 2011 campaign was the most impressive season of anyone, in my opinion, ever. And that's that.